Hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Report. Kind of a gray day, filtered sunshine, and then we're dealing with some light mixed precipitation tonight. Um, Light snow. Let's look at the radar right now, just show you what we got. It looks like we've got some snow over the North Shore, and then the line's kind of splitting the middle of the island, the South Shore having some light rain. But there won't be any accumulation for Long Island at all. Maybe just a little dusting on the ground. It's gonna melt anyway. So you see across the country, we got winter storms out in the northwest. You can see that's where your trough is. We're going to be dealing with warmer weather. That's why after yesterday, which was nice and chilly, temperatures will be on the rise after today. We're already up to 36, by the way, at Islip, which is interesting. So the temperatures are rising throughout the day. It's probably our high, probably. You can see light rain and light snow being reported there, so a little bit of a combination here. But you can see our temperatures have been rising throughout the day. Because of the cloud cover, we were below freezing. It actually felt colder than yesterday. We got down into the upper teens last night, as you see there at Islip. I don't think we had any radiational cooling. The wind kind of stayed up, but we'll go and look at our highs and lows for you. Let's start with the highs on the map here, and yeah, the highs are the current temperatures, obviously. Should really just look at the lows. Hold on, show me New Jersey. Yeah, 37. The highs are the current temperatures in the mid 30s. Lows, no radiational cooling. We did have lows in the upper teens to around 20 last night. West Hampton. All right. Well, West Hampton somehow got down to 12, but it's a nice cold night. But it's going to be a while before we see a night like that, unfortunately. So before I go further, let's go and look at the month of January in review here. And we're going to start with the January monthly weather summary for Islip. Hopefully we have it up here, hopefully. So this is the month of January here at Islip. The average maximum, 37.4. Below normal. The normal is supposed to be 39.2. So 1.8 degrees below normal on the high. The average minimum, 23.4, is 1.2 degrees below normal of the minimum of 24.6. You can see it was much colder than last year, though. That gave us a mean of 30.4, and our normal is supposed to be 31.9, so we're 1.5 degrees below normal. I mean, significant, yes, but nothing really that impressive. Obviously, not like record cold or anything like that, or even anything really that notable. What is notable, however, is the precipitation. We only got 0.60 inches of rain, or liquid equivalent in January, which the normal is 3.66, so that is almost 3 inches below normal, a little over 3 inches below normal. Second driest January on record. Not the driest, but second driest because of that rain we had on the last day of the month. Let's go and look at Central Park's climate report as well. You'll probably see similar statistics here. Actually, there are a lot more below normal in Central Park versus Islip. 36.5 was their normal high. Normal is supposed to be 39.5. That's a full 3 degrees below normal on the high. The average minimum of 25.9 is 2 degrees below the normal of 27.9. So that gave us a mean of 31.2. That's 2.5 degrees below the normal of 33.7. And again, the rainfall, second driest month on record. 0.61 only of liquid at Central Park. Normal is supposed to be 3.64, 3.03 below normal. So a colder and drier, much drier than normal. I think that's the main notable here, is that it was much, much drier than normal. Certainly not one of the top 10 coldest Januaries or anything like that, but second driest on record. And some of the sites might have actually had driest on record. That's why I'm going to actually go. We're going to look and see if we can see if JFK actually had a record here. But I don't think anyone else broke their driest on record, I don't think. But you'll see here, this is for January. And again, not as much of a normal there. That's weird. So JFK, not that much below normal on the temperatures. Only 0.2 below normal. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. Let's look at Newark. Newark was 1.4 degrees below normal. So Islip was, I think, colder than normal, and you see that big, due to that radiational cooling in there. May have actually have been radiational cooling in Central Park, too, possibly. judging by these numbers. So again, the cold, not really that notable of a thing for January. It was definitely more like it should be. The drought, the dryness definitely was. And we want to go to the drought monitor next because let's go in here and look at that drought monitor here because you'll see some areas actually wound up getting ticked up again. Long Island is split between abnormally dry in Suffolk County. Nassau is a moderate drought. And New Jersey still, much of the southern half of the state, is in a severe drought, and the Pine Barrens area an extreme drought. So still dealing with this drought. We're not really seeing a whole lot of precipitation this month, and we're going to take a look and see if things will change to more of a wetter or maybe normal. Normal would have more snow. Snow is very important. A lot of areas of the country dealing with drought. Flagstaff has hardly had any snow at all, and they've been very abnormally warm in Flagstaff, by the way. So if you're thinking of going to Flagstaff and finding winter there, no, you're going to find spring. So let's go take a look at today's weather here. I'm not going to go over Flagstaff's report in here, but I guess we could, but I'd have to go to their weather office. And let's go and look at today's daily climate report for Islip. So high of 33 and a low of 17 puts us 7 degrees below normal for the day. And we only hit 0.08 inches of precipitation this month already. Normal, we're already below normal. We'll get a little more rain. So I am very curious about Flagstaff. So actually, let's go ahead and look at that. I am very curious about that. Because they've hardly had any snow at all. And I know this is not a local thing, but you can see, look at their forecast. 50s and 60s is really warm, and no snow in the forecast either for them. So warm week on the way. You can see high clouds at times. So they're going through a warm. Let's see if we can find their climate thing here, climate reports here, and see if we can. I gotta find it. Climate. Here we go. Let's see if we can find the climate report for January. I'm very curious about this. So let's go and look at monthly weather summary for Flagstaff. So they were actually a little below normal, actually. So I guess they've had some cold weather, but the snowfall, precipitation, let's see. They only got 0.19 inches of precipitation. Normally it's supposed to be 2.05. And snowfall, yeah, they only got 3.2 inches of snow. When they should have seen 20.9. So, all right. So they've had some cold weather there, but it's been drier than normal, way drier than normal, and the snowpack is really important for them. So I kind of wanted to bring it up because this drought is like a nation. It's affecting the whole country. So you can see here, yeah, there's their precipitation over Long Island. And if we pull this out, you'll see there are some winter weather advisories up to the north and west there. There may be accumulation, but not in our area. Looking across, you can see there's the storm. So you can see there's the trough, there's the cold air. We're stuck in a ridge, unfortunately. And that shows up when we look at the weather map here. You'll see here that ridge is building, and the troughiness is in the northwest. So, yeah, if you're looking for winter, Montana might be a good place to find it right now. Surface analysis. You can see there's that high moving offshore. We've got lows. We've got some frontal systems around here. But the key is this is definitely a warmer look. A warmer look. So let's go and look at, we're done with all this other stuff. Let's go and look at what kind of weather we're going to be experiencing now as we head into February. Unfortunately, it is going to be warm. That is the unfortunate thing of it. The cold weather that we had in January right now doesn't look like it's going to stick around. So we're going to at least we get a break of it this week. We'll have to see what happens. Before I get started, I want to just go to the polar vortex because there is some hope in here. I'm going to go to the 12Z, and you'll see here that here's the polar vortex wrapped up. That's why we're not seeing any cold air, but there's a split. As we get toward later in the month, that's a nice-looking split. Actually, looks like it brings the cold air right down over the eastern U.S. So big stratospheric warming event. So the cold air could very well return to some hopefully more notable cold weather for us. I mean, the Gulf, yeah, but for us, I'd like to see some more notable cold weather. I mean, highs not getting out of the teens, lows in the single digits, not with radiational cooling, with cold air advection. We haven't had that yet this winter, so I'd like to see a real extended period of some really bitterly cold weather, which we have had cold weather, but it hasn't been bitterly bitterly cold. I remember way colder winters, and also we're lacking snow. So let's go to the North American view, and we will go and look at we still got the 12Z, which is what I'm going to be using here, because the 18Z just seems like it's a little more of a wanky run, and I just prefer not to use it. So let's go look at the jet stream here. All right, so here's the jet stream, and you can see we got kind of a zonal flow, a little bit of a ridge in the east. You see that set up right there. Not conducive to any cold. But as we get toward the end of the period, here come those troughs in the east, and that might bring down some of that really cold air that will hopefully we will get into here. This is the GFS that we are looking at once again. Let's go to the upper air. So here's the upper air. And you see there's that ridge that we've got going on, the troughs in the west. So above normal, a little bit of a glancing blow of cold air, very glancing blow, generally ridge. And then you see there's some more troughing as we get into the end of this week maybe, and then into next week hopefully, showing a little bit more. Yeah, oh, look at that huge Greenland block. So here we go. This is exactly what I'm talking about. That's a huge block in Greenland. That's going to push a lot of cold air down. Here we go. It's toward the end of the period, but you could see that there is a change to colder weather, perhaps much colder weather as we get toward the middle of the month. You're just going to have to hang on. The beginning is going to be crappy for us. So let's go to the European next. We'll look at the 12Z European. And you'll see here again, there's that ridging that we're going to deal with. Pretty much looks alike here. Pretty similar similarities. And you're still seeing that block. And the European even more intense with that colder. Look at that trough digging down there. That is a nice trough that sets up, and that's going to bring in some really cold air. This is a really good look as we get toward the middle of the month. So, again, you're just going to have to hang on. Let's go to the low of 48 now, and we will look at our temperature anomaly chart, which will show us exactly what's going to be happening here. On the euro first, because this month we're going to be dealing with a little bit of some very much above normal temperatures, but you can see the colder air is hanging out in the Montana and North Dakota area, but we are going to be dealing with some really warm, very much above normal weather. It's like a torch this week, basically. Drops to near normal by the end of the week. Another little bit of a torch, but then here comes the colder weather coming in as we get toward, well, still not there yet. We still have to deal with a little bit of ridging. Cold air looks like it goes into the Midwest first, but then look at what happens as we get toward the end of the period. That's going to be some really cold weather that's going to be coming in there. That's a pretty big temperature anomaly when you see those really bright purples and almost pinks right there. Looking at the GFS, probably see the similar thing. We'll go to the 12Z GFS. So here we are on the 12Z. Some of the look, it brings in some of the colder weather actually a little bit sooner. And then here comes the really bitterly cold. They're swinging it in right across the country, diving down across the north and then over us. So, yeah, that is a nice look right there as we get toward the end. And that's going to mean temperatures that are going to be pretty cold, as you see, as we'll talk about as we get past the short range. Now, you got a general look of the patterns that we're going to be dealing with, but we're going to be dealing with suck for this week. So let's go to the HRRR and look at the shorter range of things here. Dealing with this light precipitation here, not going to really mount to much. It's going to be gone. Tomorrow is going to be dry, but we're still going to have a lot of clouds around. And then for Tuesday, you can see a little bit of a boundary comes on through here. A little bit of a front comes through. It's not really going to be accompanied by anything, but it will drop the temperatures down. Looking at our dew points and wind flow, let's go ahead and look at that. Obviously, we've got a southerly flow that brings the temperatures up, dew points up. And tomorrow, we're going to go back to more of a westerly flow, maybe a little southwesterly flow. That's going to mean it's going to be a warm day tomorrow. You can see those southwest winds. But here's Tuesday morning. Wind shift back to the northwest. Dew points drop. That means colder air does come back into the picture. All right. Oh, I forgot to show you the surface. All right. I'll go back to that as soon as I finish this. I didn't show you the surface. That's kind of important. But see tonight, I did on this, but I got to show you the surface on the other models. But you'll see here for tomorrow, we're going to warm up 50s in Jersey, probably mid to upper 40s, maybe near 50 on Long Island. Not cooling off much at all tomorrow night. And then the colder air comes in Thursday, and temperatures will probably Tuesday, I should say, temperatures will probably be in the upper 30s to low 40s and dropping. All right, let's pull this back out again and talk about the surface as far as storms go. I'll go back to the GFS, 12Z. Let's see if we have any more opportunities for precipitation. I've been focused on the temperatures. So after this moves out, we're dry. You see that big high, but you can see there's a little bit of a bump there, and that is going to mean there's going to be precipitation. It looks like South Jersey gets brushed with snow on this particular run, but then we're going to have to deal with rain on Thursday. The air is probably going to be too warm for anything else. Then another shot of cooler air comes in. Then another storm system passes by on the weekend, Saturday night to Sunday. And then we have the high pressure building. And then here comes another system now. Here's as the cold air comes in. There could be some opportunities for snowfall here. This is a ways out here. But that front coming through, we'll have to see where that sets up, obviously. But then it forms a low and it tracks up the lake. So that means no snow for us. But there comes some clippers. That really has a nice cold look right there toward the end. Let's go ahead and look at the European as well. You understand why I only do this once a week. It's a lot to do to go over. So, again, see, there's the euro. Is that high? Euro is stronger with that high. Much stronger with that high. That's actually a decent look for that. And then you could see that precipitating. Now, that might mean more mixed precipitation on Thursday to start, but it still brings it over to rain. And then our next system would be for the weekend again. And the euro, colder, actually has it starting as snow, but it still could change over to rain. Later Saturday night, maybe starting as snow and then going over to rain. And then here's another system here that might actually give us some snow. But then it goes into a mile, and you see what happens. Make it a little snow from the system, but then we have rain with this low that's going on. So it does look like we'll see some more opportunities for precipitation, which is good because we could use it. We've been really abnormally dry. That's the main thing to note here. And we could use some more precipitation here. So if we go back to the Weather Prediction Center and look at QPF, and I'll go through days 1 through 7, you could see that it's got a decent amount of QPF over us, which is good because, again, we've been really lacking in QPF. It could have, let's see, between 1 and perhaps as much as 2 inches of QPF over us. Maybe some of that could be snow, perhaps. So now that we've gone over all the weather systems, let's get back to the local area, and we'll go over the skies I'll just go right to the RGM for that, the 18Z RGM, and we'll look at the skies because we will be dealing with a lot of clouds. Obviously, tomorrow we're still going to. It looks like the RGM actually wants to break the clouds up for a little bit and then bring some more high clouds. There may be a little bit of sun in there. Tuesday starts with clouds, but then it looks like we're going to try to get rid of them by later in the day. And hopefully we have mostly sunny conditions. And then Wednesday we'll be dealing with some more high clouds with that system coming through. But again, if that high winds up being stronger, it could push the high clouds to the south, a la the euro. GFS, on the other hand, has plenty of those clouds around. It brings in the precipitation. Here's the GFS skies. All right, plenty of clouds, obviously. So I said it's going to be kind of a crappy week with a lot of cloudy days. Still showing clouds for Friday, Saturday. So we may have to wait until we get into that pattern shift before we have some more sunshine, according to the GFS. But this always has a tendency to overdo the cloud cover. And that's something that to keep in mind. Let's look at our temp dew points and wind flow on the GFS just to show you what's going on. So you can see that colder air coming in Tuesday night into Wednesday there. There it goes. Colder weather, northwest winds. Then it pulls on out. And then we have another shot of colder air. Not Arctic air, just colder air. But you can see there's that purple there that starts coming in there and getting closer to us. Here we are Tuesday, getting closer. Here comes another shot. Here we go. We start getting into the colder weather. February 14th, Valentine's Day. You can see those dew points dropping. So, and then toward the end of the period, this is when we really start getting into some of the real Arctic air. So when we look at our temperatures, you'll see them dropping probably 20s for Tuesday night. Wednesday, if we have a lot of clouds around, we may struggle to get above freezing. And then you can see those temperatures kind of right around the freezing mark, which makes that forecast tricky. And we'll have a better idea in the coming days as to how we're going to deal with the Wednesday and Thursday system. Friday, or seasonably chilly, mid-30s, so it won't really torch that bad, actually. We're going to have a couple of days. Actually, it doesn't look that bad when you look at the GFS. for this week. And then next week we start seeing the colder weather come in. So GFS doesn't look that bad, actually, as far as the warmth goes. The worst of it's going to be tomorrow, I think, and perhaps part of Tuesday. But you can see the colder weather, temperatures not getting out of the 20s. I would still like to see a day where we don't get out of the teens. Perhaps that can happen. That's the GFS. If we go and we look at the European, here's the European. You can see the European has got a different look here than the GFS. It's warmer than the GFS. It's more aggressive with the warm air. But in the short term, Wednesday cold air, it's more aggressive with the cold air. Here we are 15Z Wednesday, and you can see temperatures only in the 20s, perhaps. So we might struggle to get above freezing on Wednesday. And at night, we may get down to the teens. But then you see it's more aggressive with the warmer air on Thursday. So we do have model differences this week, and that's going to affect how these systems play out. You can see here's the European, just showing you the Euro here with the temperatures. But you can see the Euro in the longer range really wants to really be more aggressive with these colder temperatures. Look at February 17th. Now that's nice. Single digits. That's really nice. These are actual air temperatures. So I'll have to see. I hope this verifies. We could use it. We need a real cold snap. A real cold snap. We haven't had since 2017. That's the kind of cold snap we need. We haven't had it yet. Of course, we used to get that all the time. When I was younger, we used to get them most winters. We would get that. Now it's really hard to get that. So let's just look at some soundings on here. Kind of tell us, gauge the cloud cover. It does seem to have a lot of the higher cloud cover on Wednesday. Obviously, if you're further north, you probably would have no. Trying to see if we can eke out sunshine for Wednesday, but I don't think so with those clouds. I think Tuesday is going to be your best bet for colder weather. Here's the 21Z. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So Tuesday is probably going to be your best bet. And at least Tuesday it does turn colder. Seasonably cold, nothing crazy. But it will turn colder, especially by the evening. And hopefully we can have a mostly sunny day, because unfortunately it looks like we're going to be dealing with a lot of clouds every other day this week. So, last stop on this Long Island weather outlook and is this 6 to 10 day. And you can see it has the trough in the northwest, that's where the below normal temperatures are, but it has this in the near normal. So it indicates it's going to be in between the trough and the ridge. That means also lots of storm systems and above normal precipitation. 8 to 14 day, you can see that cold start to shift east as we get into the colder weather. But it looks like there will be colder weather, especially for those in Flagstaff. Hopefully they're going to get some snow. Above normal precipitation, it still looks kind of, has it near normal on the 8 to 14 day, so hopefully they can get some snow over there. But in the short range, it still has below normal in the southwest, but they really need their snow. It's important. So that is going to wrap up this Long Island weather outlook and report. Have a good night.